ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शंकरं लोकशंकरं शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ओम नमः शिवाय। We have to do 34th verse ji. विकल्पो उद्भवतः असत्वं स्वप्न दृश्यवदिष्यताम् द्वैतस्य प्राग असत्वाच्च सदसत्वादि कल्पनात्. See, vikalpodbhavaha means dvaitam. Vikalpodbhavataha. Vikalpa udbhavataha means because it is created. Vikalpa dvaitam is created. Vikalpa means dvaitam. Vikalpa means dvaitam. There are two things, then it is called vikalpa. Vikalpa udbhavataha. Udbhavataha means because it is created and therefore asatvam. Because it is perceived, therefore it is asatvam. Here the Shruti has to be just Shruti Kalpana. Create that it is a perception is not understood. Avidya Kalpitam is perception. Shastra Kalpitam is Srishti. My teaching is always Avidya Kalpitam. My teaching is not through Srishti Kalpitam. As a Srishti, I always say that it is a perception. It is a perception. Until you see it, if there is no perception, if there you don't see and you don't remember, then you are not free from you are free from the body. You are Brahman only. And if you understand that in Sushupti also you are the same. You don't perceive anything other than you. You don't remember anything other than you. Other than you means the body onwards. The body is not perceived, is not remembered. The breath is not perceived and remembered. No thoughts are remembered. No object is perceived. No object is remembered. And therefore, you don't see, you don't miss anything. And therefore, it is Advaita only. You alone are there. It is not Shunyam place. It is your existence. Because if you don't experience, you are there to experience the absence of the objects. And if you are not there, you cannot remember it even from the waking point of view. And after you wake up, you can't remember it. If you remember it, that means you are very much there. What is registered alone can be remembered. What is not registered cannot be remembered. This you have to understand. And therefore, asatvam. So it is called a laya. In Shastram, it is called a laya. It is inferred. When you don't perceive a thing, and you don't remember a thing, then it is called laya. Everything has laya. That is the Jivatvam also has laya. When there is only Brahmatvam, you stand as Advaitam. You are very much there. But the Jivatvam is not there. That I am so and so body. I am so and so person, individual. That individual sense of individuality also is not there. Without the body, you cannot have a sense of individuality. Therefore, the body is not there, and therefore the Jivatvam also is not there. Is not perceived. So, the Swapna Drishyadivat Ishyatam. Ishyatam means let it be accepted as Swapna Drishyadivat. Like even what you see in the dream. The waking is like the dream only. Swapna Drishyavat. Swapna Drishyavat means so what is seen in the dream is like the waking also is like in the what is seen in the dream is like the dream. Dream Ishyatam. The Swapna Drishyavata Ishyatam. Ishyatam means let it be accepted, let it be understood. Dvaitasya praga asatvacha. Dvaitam is before it was seen, it was not there. Before the snake was perceived, the snake was not there. After seeing the rope, it will not be there. Praga asatvacha. And therefore it will not be there later on also. Adav antache yan nasti vartamane pi tattatha. It is said, by Gaudapada, Adav Antecha. What is not seen before going to sleep and after waking up is not there even now. When it is seen, it is not there. It is even when it is seen, it is not there. Adav Antecha. Adavcha Antecha yan nasti yat nasti tat vartamanepi tat tatha. Vartaman may be Vartaman in the present also. When you see it also, it is not there. Yeah, and also and what is it is not pragasatvacha. Before it was a sin, it was non-existent. Pragasatvacha. Sadsatvadi kalpanat. Sadsatvadi kalpanat means is it sat, is it there or not? I say kalpanat. Kalpanat means per se when you start thinking, it goes away. Sadsatvadi kalpanat. Kalpanat pragapi. Kalpanat kalpanat it will go away. And therefore sadsatvadi kalpanat. Pragape praga asatvacha. Asatvacha. Even before you think that it is sat, is it sat or asat? Does it exist or not? In this manner, even before you think, it is not there. And therefore, your thinking that is it sat or not asat has no meaning at all. Because it is not there. And therefore, it is better to think that it is not there. And therefore, that is why it said it is not qualified, it doesn't qualify the truth. It doesn't qualify the truth. The Dvaitam doesn't qualify the Advaitam. Dvaitam is there. Dvaitam seems to be there, but it doesn't qualify the Advaitam. Advaitam is the Atma. Atma is Brahma. Atma means one's own existence. Jivatma. And that Jivatma is gone, and then Atmatma alone stays. When you don't see the objects, and you don't remember the objects, Jivatma is gone. Jivatma is not remembered, and you don't have the Jivatma. You have only Brahmatma. Therefore, in Sushupti, you are only a Brahman. Therefore, there is no Mula Vidya or anything. Sadsatvadi, Sattvam, Asatvam, Sat, Rasatvam, Adi Kalpanat. Kalpanat Pragapi, even before you think, it is not there. And therefore, it is not subject to thinking. Is it Sat or Asat is not subject to thinking. It is a right thinking. It is right thinking. Is it real or unreal? This universe, is it real or unreal? If it is real, it should be there in the sleep also. But if it is not there, if it is not felt, then definitely it is not there. It is asat, it is not there. Therefore, sarasatwadi kalpanat pragapi dvaitasya dvaitasya pragasatvacha. Even before it is seen, it is not there. Sapna drishyad vadishyadham. Let it be taken it as let it be taken as swapna drishyam, like the dream. Therefore, in the waking also it is the same. Vacharamana shastracha. And Vacharamana vikaro namadeyam. Mristika ityeva satyam. Vacharamana vikaro namadeyam. It is said, Vacharamana, Vakalamana. Vakalamana is called Vacharamana. Vacha means by the speech. Aramana, it begins. You call it a pot, you call it a wave, and it's a wave, and therefore it is called Vacharamana. Vacharamana vikaro namadeyam. What we call creation is only Vakalambanam. It stays only on your tongue. Vacha arambanam. It stays on your tongue only. You start calling it. You call it a wave, but it is being water only. You call it a wave, and therefore it is started by you, by your calling it. Similarly, you call yourself Jiva. You perceive yourself as Jiva. Therefore, it is an mithya jnana. Mithya jnana, not mithya jnana. And it becomes mithya jnana means mula vidya. Mithya jnanam it is. It is अन्यथा ज्ञानम अन्यथा अज्ञानम नहीं है अन्यथा अज्ञानम अन्यथा ज्ञानम it is only jnanam, an error, erroneous knowledge. Therefore, that it is a wave is only is started by you. By you call it a wave, and therefore it is only being water. It is being water, being water. You have to understand the difference between it is water and it is being water. It is being, it is being water. It is not, sometimes it is water, sometimes it is not water. No. Sometimes it is always being water. It is always being water. It is being water. What it is being is always being. It is being water. Similarly, I may see myself as Jiva, but I am being Brahman. I am being Brahman, and therefore, I am to see myself as Jiva is started by me. This is Vacharamana, Shrutat Vacha. Vikaranam hi abhavata. Vikaranam means the created things, the objects are non-existent. Abhavata means non-existent. Vikara means creation. The so-called perceived objects. The so-called perceived objects are abhavata, absence. Abhavata. Mrityosa mrityum apnoti iti ityadehi. And also there is a shruti, mrityosa mrityum apnoti eha naneva pashyati. Mrityo, a person goes from death to death if he doesn't understand the Advaitam. Mrityosa mrityum apnoti, if a person sees the nana eva pashyati. Nana eva means as many. If there is something else. Everything is not other than yourself. Everything is yourself. And therefore consciousness, everything is consciousness. Everything is the material for the consciousness, for the objects is the consciousness. And therefore that consciousness alone are you. You are not the body. Therefore, if the consciousness and the body, the whole thing is that I am a blend of both. That is wrong thinking. I am only consciousness. I am only awareness. In this manner, it has to be understood. Mama Maya Duratya iti smriti. Mama Maya. And my Maya is Duratya. Duratya means it's difficult to cross over. My Maya is difficult to cross over. Krishna says, Ityadehe Mama Maya Duratyaha iti smriti. Iti ayasa smriti mein bhi hai. And Krishna also says, my Maya is difficult to cross over. Mame ye prapadyante, mayametam tarantite. Those who are devoted to me can only cross this Maya. Without devotion to me, they can't cross. Being committed to the knowing the truth, being committed, like when you are committed to knowing what it is, then you come to know that it is only rope. If you are only casual about it, you can't know. If you see it as a snake, then you may call it as a snake only. Throughout your life, you may call it a snake. You may remember it as a snake, and that I saw a snake, and it is such a problem, and all. You get scared, you get sweat and toil, and all that. You get perspiration, and all those problems come back, and therefore, it has to be said that there is no snake. That is, if you are committed to knowing what it is, then you can know that it is only rope. Similarly, if you are committed to knowing yourself, you can know yourself. If you are not committed to knowing yourself, then you can't know yourself. You are only the conscious being. That is like the pot is only clay. It is being clay. The wave is being water. And water is the truth of the waves. Water is not the wave is not water is not the wave. Water is not created. Water is being the truth of the waves. In the same manner, the clay is being being the truth of the pot, etc. In the same manner, you as a consciousness alone are being the truth of the whole universe. And therefore, within the consciousness, every object is. This is what a human being should understand, should be committed to understanding. And therefore, it has to be understood that as consciousness alone, you are being the truth of the whole universe. The universe is not separate from you. The objects are not separate from you. The objects are ananya. This is what is called ananya. Ananya from you. Ananya from our consciousness. The objects are ananya from consciousness. If they are ananya from consciousness, ananya means not separate from consciousness. They are all made of consciousness. Matter is made of consciousness. This is exactly what the Advaita school is teaching. The Atma, that is called Parameshwara. And therefore, from in Sushupta only, the whole thing appears. You don't have to do anything. You right in Sushupti, you see the objects. Therefore, in Jagrata also, it is avidya. Not seeing the presence of the objects. When you see the presence of the objects, you remember that I saw the absence of the objects. And in this manner, you remember, and therefore you were very much there in Sushupti. When you see the presence of the objects, then you remember that you are very much there, and therefore there is no question of not being there. It is not Shunyavada. Everything is born in Shunyam, they say. They interpret the Sushupti as Shunyam. It is a Shunyam of things. It is not Shunyam. It is not Shunyam of you. You are very much there. That is why you want to go to Sushupti. It is the desire of the conscious being. It is the desire of the conscious being. It is not Mr. Jivatvam. It is not the Jivatvam. You want to be free from Jivatvam. And then alone you want to be absolutely free. You want to be, you have to be, you will be absolutely peaceful also. When you are free from Jivatvam, you are absolutely peaceful. If you are not, if you are a Jiva, you cannot be happy at all. You cannot be peaceful at all. And therefore, as a Jiva, you cannot be peaceful. And therefore, it is said, Maya Durataya. Not knowing oneself is avidya. Then from the waking point of view, there is avidya in Sushupti. From as Anubhava, there is no thought of the vidya, there is no thought of avidya. It is only Swarupa Avastha. It is the actuality of your nature. That is the actuality of your nature. And therefore, the being the actuality of your nature, you don't have to struggle to become it. You are already being it. What is to be understood is that I'm being Brahman. I don't have to become one. This is what is to be understood. Nitya smriti maya iti mama maya iti cha smritehe mama maya duratya vishuddhascha vishuddhischa ataha purity is therefore ataha therefore vishuddhischa ataha and therefore it is purity. Atma is purity. Eva asya eva indeed asya of this atma. Vikalpacha vilakshanaha. It is separate from the snake. Like the rope is separate from the snake. Rope is what is. Snake is what you see. What is has to be seen. What is has to become seen. And the snake, what you see is mithya. What I see is mithya. What I am, what I am is not what I see. What I see, I am the truth of what I see. I am the truth of what I see, and therefore it is Ananya. We can't say this is Ananya. I am is Ananya with the object. The object is Ananya with me. The object is made of me. Not I am made of the objects. I am not made of the objects. The objects are made of me. And therefore, this is what is to be understood. Vikalpacha vilakshanaha. It is separate. The fact is separate from the error. The fact is Vishuddhi, purity. Purity of your being is the fact. Is the fact about you. 36th verse, Ji. Vikalpacha vilakshanaha. It is separate from the vikalpa, the error. Upadeha na heya. That nakara that is in between should be added to the na upadeha na heya. Na upadeha na neya na heya. It is neither you can't add anything to it, you can't delete anything from it. You can't add anything to it, you can't also subtract from it. And therefore it's the same. It is ever the same. Atma, it is yourself, it is Swarupa, it is your actuality. Na anyehi, akalpita. It's not because It's not seen by you. It is. You are being what you are. You are being that. You are being that truth. And therefore, it is not seen by you. It is not understood by you. You are being it. And therefore, it is not also imagined by others. It is not imagined by you. Your existence is not imagined by you. Your existence is something, it is not pramana siddham. You don't have to open your eyes to see yourself. You don't have to close, you don't have to open your ears to hear you. You see, you can see your existence is Swata Siddham. Your existence is Swata Siddham. Then you can close your eyes and know that I am there, very much there. And therefore, you don't have to struggle to see yourself. You don't have to, you are very much, it is Swata Siddham, it's self existent. Being self existent, that you have to understand that it is self existent. I am self existent. And therefore I am not pramana siddham. And in the sushupti, there are no pramanas, there are no prameyas, there are no pramata. The pramata bhava is not there. And that means jivatvam is not there. And jivatvam is not there means, but then as perceiver, as the seer, you are there. As the form, you are not there. But as the seer, you are very much there. You are the seer of, seer means the sight is there. It is not something that cannot be, that can be negated. It's not, you are very much there. And therefore, you are being a Brahman. And therefore, it is not an error. It is not an error. It is not an error, please. It should not be taken as Anyahi akalpita. Anyahi means by others. It is not akalpita means it is not imagined by others. It is not imagined. It is not that it is imagined by your existence. Neither your existence nor their existence is imagined. Existence is not imagined. Only jivatvam is error. It's not subjectively imagined. It is subjective imagination is different from mm, error. The error means I find myself with seeing it. I find myself with seeing it, and that seeing the snake as snake. That is, I find myself as a jiva. It's not that after birth I take myself to be the body, and therefore I find myself with seeing the body, seeing myself as the body, and therefore it is timeless. It is anadi, ananta. It is sanatana. It is something that is timeless. It has no beginning. It has no end. If it has a beginning and an end, then it should have, it has no beginning and an end. Therefore, in Sushupti it should end. That means I should know myself in Sushupti. I should know myself. It doesn't. It's not that line. But I am there in Sushupti. Avidya is there. Non ignorance is there in Sushupti also, from the waking point of view. As Anubhava, it is not in Sushupti. Neither Vidya nor Avidya is there. There is no thought of Vidya. There is no thought of embodiment. Embodiment is felt only in the waking state. And therefore, from the waking point of view, there is Avidya. From the waking point of view, there is Vidya. There can be Vidya. There, from the Sushupta, there is Anubhava. There is no Anubhava. There is no uh, Vidya Vidya. It is Swarupa Avastha. And therefore, it is something different from, so the Swarup is different from, your existence is different from what you see. The rope is different from the snake. The waterness is different from the waveness. Wave is being water. You may call it wave. It is being water. And similarly, Jiva is being Brahman. Jiva may think, may see itself as Jiva. That is different. That is only because he doesn't see himself. He doesn't think positively. He doesn't think himself to be Brahman, and therefore that is also one of the reasons why he doesn't think. Why he doesn't discern between Atma and Deha. That is because he is distracted to the objects, and therefore there ends the matter. Distraction is the explanation. Distraction is the explanation. Going to the objects is the explanation. Why Jiva doesn't think that I am not the body. Jivatvam he doesn't negate. Jivatvam he doesn't negate. And therefore he continues to be Jiva. He continues to suffer from this samsara. And therefore, why? Because he is interested only in the objects. Objects are easily available. For this you have to discern, and discerning is very difficult. Thinking is difficult, and therefore thinking is difficult, and therefore distraction, enjoying is more easy, and therefore uh, man goes. Man enjoys the pleasures also for peace only. You don't enjoy the pleasures for pleasure's sake. You enjoy the pleasures for peace sake, for the sake of peace. That is what is called ananda. The shanti is what is called mental peace. Is what is called peace. Is what is called peace. Is not the quality of the mind. Peace is the quality of the being. Well, it is not the quality of the mind. Please, it is not mental peace. Mind can have relative peace, but in sushupti you don't have relative peace. It is only mind is not there. Nothing is there. No thought is there. Only you are there. The being is there. Then, therefore, peace is not mental peace. Peace is the nature of the being. Peace is the nature of consciousness. Consciousness is the nature of the being. Consciousness, peace is the nature of the being. And therefore, as the being, you are there. As the being in Sushupti explains away, peace doesn't belong to the thoughts. Peace belongs to the, only relative peace belongs to the mind, maybe. But the absolute peace belongs to the being. In Sushupti, you don't have relative peace. Relative peace means you have thought, but absolute peace means you have no thought. And the Anubhava experience is you have no thought at all. You are free from thoughts, and therefore there is no it's not mental peace. It is peace of the being, and therefore one has to understand that he goes to the objects thinking that the peace lies in the objects, the pleasures, but the peace doesn't lie in the pleasures. Peace lies in himself, and therefore he has to understand himself to be correct. He has to understand himself that the peace lies. He is of the nature of the peace and only. This he has to understand. And therefore, aprakashaha. Next verse is 37th verse. Ji. Aprakashaha. Aprakashaha means when the cloud when the cloud when the sun sets, man thinks aprakashaha. Yatha, just as Aditya in the sun. Aprakashaha yatha Aditya nasti jyoti swabhavataha nitya bodha swarupatvat na ajnanam tadvadatmani. A very beautiful verse. Aprakasha. Aprakasha is just as the sun, we think that the sun has lost the light. Sun has lost the light. A villager always thinks the sun has lost the light. That is why the sun has set. The sun has set. The sun has set means the sun doesn't lose. If the cloud covers the sun, it doesn't. It doesn't. It is still there. The sun is still bright, but the cloud, even the cloud is seen only in the light of the sun. Aditya not jyotihi. Iti, a moorkha can think, a child can think, a boy can think, a school boy can think that the sun has lost the sun has lost the light, but it's not so. Just as the sun, even jyoti, swabhavataha, by nature it has not lost, it has lost the sun, it has lost the light. One thinks so, but actually it doesn't lose because that is its nature. The nature is not lost. What changes is only the qualities. The nature is different from the qualities. Qualities can come and go, but the nature is something different. That which has the nature is like the mango. The nature is to change. Change is the nature of the thing. Change, it keeps on changing. Now it is small, then it becomes big, it becomes sour, and then it becomes sweet, it ripens, and then it falls down. And then it keeps changing, it becomes dust. And in this manner, the changes go on going. Because they're all in time, they're all born, and therefore they have changed. And change is the quality of change is their nature. Change is the nature of the mango. The body also is the same. Change is the nature of the body. It changes, it changes the nature. But similarly, Atma's nature is not to change, changelessness. If there can be something that can doesn't that can change, there can also be something that can doesn't change also. Otherwise, if you can change, what changes cannot see the change. What changes cannot see the change. What is changeless can see the change. And therefore, just as what is stationary can see the moving things, what is moving cannot see the movement. And in the same manner, what is stationary can see the change. What is not stationary cannot see the change. And therefore, what is still can see the movement. What is the karmas are done, objectified. And there, because they are objectified, they're all seen. And they are, and therefore they are non-existent. They are with their ananya with yourself. They are ananya with the consciousness. And the only source of consciousness is you. Consciousness is always present as the subject. Yatha aditya nast jyotihi swabhavataha. There is when they in the cloud, one thinks that there is no light in the sun. There is no light in the sun. When the cloud covers the sun, or when the sun sets, one thinks that there is no the sun has lost the sun. The sun has lost the light. The sun has lost the light. In this manner, one thinks. If he is a murkha. In the same manner, nitya bodha swarupatvat. Nitya bodha swarupatvat. But there is light in the sun always. In the same manner, there is nothing else in the sun. There is no shadow, there is no darkness in the sun. In the same manner, in the Nitya Bodha Swarupatvat, because it's always of the nature of knowledge. Atma is of the nature of consciousness always. It is always of the nature of awareness, consciousness. Tadvad Atmani. Ajnana Ajnanam Tadvad Atmani. Atma, there is no Ajnanam. Just as there is nothing but light in the Aditya. In the same manner, in the Atma there is no Ajnana. Just as there is nothing else in the Aditya, in the same manner there is no Ajnana in the Atma. Ajnana also is Ajnana. Man thinks that I have no consciousness, but there is no Ajnanam in the Aditya. There is no Ajnanam in the consciousness. That is what it is. That's what one should think. Tadvad Atmani Ajnanam na. Ajnanam is only in the intellect. It is only every object, everything that can that I objectify is a thought, and therefore it looks like an object of thought. It doesn't look like it is not. It is not an object of thought. It is thought only, and therefore it is perception only. It looks like an object of perception. It is not an object of perception. It is perception only. This is what is to be understood. This is the real thing. Real thing is what this looks. Every object looks an object of perception. Object of perception. I perceive it is independent of perception. I think. I always think it is independent of my perception. That's not true. It is not independent of your perception. It is your perception. Man thinks that it is independent of my perception. It is not independent of your perception. It is your perception alone, and therefore, and Sadhguru Atmani, there is no ignorance in the Atma. Just as there is nothing else but light in the sun, in the same manner in the Atma there is nothing but there is no ajnanam also. There is nothing else except consciousness. यथा विक्रिय रूपत्वात् यदा विक्रिय रूपत्वात् means यथा विक्रिय रूपत्वात् न अवस्थान्तरमात्मनः अवस्थान्तरवत्वे हि नाशोऽस्ति स्यात् न संशयः is not doubt, no doubt. तथा similarly विक्रिय रूपत्वात् the objects being creation by Shastra Kalpana, please. If it is a Shastra Kalpana, if it is Shastri, Shastra is the Kalpitam. Shastra does the Kalpana. Without the Kalpana, there is nothing. Everything is a Kalpana. But this is the right Kalpana. That is a Praman Roop Kalpana. Otherwise, like when a person says, Everything is attracted to this, everything is attracted by the earth. We say everything is pulled by the pulled, pushed, pulled towards the earth. They say it is gravitated. It gravitates everything to itself. In this manner, we say that sentence, is it a part of that gravitation pull? That gravitation, the pull, is it a part of it? It is not a part of it. And in the same manner, here also, Shastra Kalpana and Avidya Kalpana. Avidya is not a part of Atma. Atma is different from Atma is something that is consciousness alone. That it is identified with the body, that it is a body, that it is a thought, that's not true. That it is not that true. It is not the body is the truth. That it is not the body is the truth. That it is the body is not the truth. And therefore, tatha abhikriyatvat, tatha vikriya rupatvat, everything is the object being changeful, vikriya being created, avastantaram atmana. Its actuality is not another avastha. Its actuality is not another state. Its actuality is not another state. Its actuality is, it's not another state. Its actuality is in all the, that it is rope. When I see the rope, it continues to be the rope. When I don't see the rope, also it continues to be the rope. Therefore, it is not another state. It is not a state. State is different from, state means it has to replace other states. It has to be one. It is not one of the states. It is actuality. It is not one of the states. It is actuality. And therefore, it is said, avastantramatmana, avastantravatvehi. If it is a different state, nashehi, nasha asya syat, nashaha asya syat. It will be gone. It will become mithya. Nasha asya syat. Nasha means it will be destroyed. Nasamshaya, there is no doubt. Like the Jagrati is not in the Swapna, Jagrati is not in the Sushupti. Similarly, if the actuality, Atmatvam, Brahmatvam, if it is another state, then with this state, when it will be destroyed, that Swarupa will be destroyed. That Swarupa is not destroyed. And therefore, the Swarupa, it is not destroyed, it is not another state. It is there, it is the truth of all states. It is the truth of all the states. In all the states, there is objectification or non-objectification. It is the truth of objectifications and non-objectifications also. Non-objectification means it is the truth of what you think, about Sushupti from the waking point of view. From the waking point of view, you think that it is absence, and that thought of absence is also made by the truth only. Is also made of the truth only. And therefore, whether it is presence or absence, both the thoughts are made of the truth only. And therefore, it is said here, it is said, Tata abhikriya rupatvat na avastantramatmana. Avastantramatvat, if it were another state, then it would definitely be destroyed. No, there is no doubt. If it is, because Jagrati is not in Swapna, Swapna is not in Sushupti. When they are not there, they are not independent of your perception. And therefore, every perception, every object can be neutralized, it can be falsified by changing your thinking. By changing your thinking. By changing your thinking means by changing that it is not perceived by the Jiva, it is perceived by the Atma only. It is perceived by the Atma. And the Atma is perceived as Atma is perceiving in itself. Therefore, all objects are within the Atma and they are non-separate from the Atma. In this manner, by understanding, everything is falsified. Then one gets moksha. And the more of it we will see in the next class. Thank you very much, Ji. What is the time, please? Time over. पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. Thank you, Jay.